How you doing, everybody? Jeff Joniak and Tom Thayer from PNC Studio here at Hallis Hall, getting you set for preseason week 3, the last preseason game of the year against the Cleveland Browns. It'll be at First Energy Field in Cleveland Stadium, the site of what was a 9-sack, 15-hit on Justin Fields' pro debut performance.
There was no variation to the snap count. The defense of Cleveland really became into the tempo and the rhythm of the snap count, and they were getting a better jump off the line of scrimmage than the offensive linemen were. So it was a tough scenario to put Justin in, and I'm excited to see his development and where this team is going from here.
Yeah, 6 completions in that game, and a guy by the name of Myles Garrett had 4.5 sacks in that game, a franchise record. That was the regular season week 3. This is preseason week 3 a year later, and there is significant development in Justin Fields.
Oh, no doubt. He's got a really solid understanding of this new offense since this offense was dedicated to him since the hiring of Luke Getsy and this whole new staff. He's been in tons of meetings to make sure he understands the terminology of this offense and how it fits every single player. And we've seen development throughout the preseason leading up into this point. So I'm excited what the future is going to bring, because I think Luke Getsy and Justin Fields and the rest of the quarterbacks are all developing a real positive atmosphere for development.
I'd take it a step further. The whole offense, we heard David Montgomery this week, Tommy, say that, we'll run through a wall for Luke Getsy. So that's significant. He's tweaking him. He's pushing him, he's coaching him, he's having fun with him. I think there's a real developmental relationship going on here, and I love hearing that. He's a young coach. He's got a lot of energy, and he's out there. He walks that field hard, and he coaches these guys hard.
Well, I'm glad David Montgomery said it out loud, because now it kind of fills the offensive room. But to me, David Montgomery has always impressed me that he would run for a wall for you and anybody else. That's the type of football player he is. But when you have that type of message being delivered with complimentary remarks to the offensive coordinator, it says volumes about the future development of this offense.
Now, David liked to play. He'd like to play, and as of this taping, we don't know exactly what the snap count totals will be. I think some teams around the league are going to play their starters a little more. This is the whole, and you and I both don't like this term, so don't jump down my throat about the dress rehearsal game, because that used to be what this was called. I'm not thinking it'll be that way for every team, and I'm not sure what the Bears are going to do. What would you prefer?
I need David Montgomery to lower his shoulder pads against competition a couple times throughout the course of preseason. He hasn't done it yet. So listen, put him in the game, give him 5 carries, give him a catch, let him block a blitz, and then take him off the field and let the other guys come in and play.
I know it's an aggressive defense for sure. Very good defense against the pass last year overall. That secondary pretty much intact there in Cleveland. Offensively, the Bears defense has done a great job. I didn't realize this until you sat here and thought about it. Kansas City, second half, Bears outscored them 19-0. Start the game against Seattle 24-0. So for that stretch, I was 43 unanswered points in the 2 halves, because the defense also did its job. They're starting to feel themselves being a bit of a confidence that's growing, a swagger that we've seen in training camp. We've seen it in practice. Ferociously attacking the ball. It's exactly what they want to do. Creating opportunities, tip passes, even in practice this past week with Kyrus Tong on a tip pass that you missed there in the Peyton Center. He was rumbling right by me down the sideline. I'm thinking, there's not a chance I'm getting in the way of that bull. No way.
Yeah, man, you put a 30 number on his back and you got a big-time fullback going. But, I think it's a real compliment to the assistant coaches, because every single guy that they've coached throughout the offseason, they've had him mentally and physically prepared. For whether it's the first team unit out there on defense or the backups that have been filling that are competing for a position. That's one of the things that's really resonated with me throughout this preseason, is how well this staff has worked together to get all 90 prepared when their number was called.
Only 8 penalties so far in the preseason. Got to talk about a couple of guys, too. Trevon Coley, 3 sacks in his first 2 games. He's a veteran. He's a 6-year veteran out of Florida Atlantic. Has some experience in the Colts system. Last year couldn't play because of a foot injury. He's bounced around a bit, but he's got the leverage as a 6'1", 310-pounder, and he can rush the passer.
Well, there's a couple things that really resonate with me. When you look at one-on-ones during the course of practice, he can go out there and win one-on-ones. When he goes in the game the other day, he ran a line stunt at the line of scrimmage, got blocked, popped up and still pursued the quarterback. That tells me a lot about your hunger and about the understanding that you're still alive until the whistle blows.
All right, the Browns will run the ball.
Yeah.
Kevin Stefanski loves running the ball. He's got a great stable of backs. Very, very good stable of backs, as do the Bears. This could be a short game if teams decide, hey, you know what, we got to really work on our running game. Week 1, we know the 49ers are going to run the ball. The Bears want to run the ball this year as well. I think it would be a great opportunity for that to start, which leads me to the offensive line and you. And Tevin Jenkins getting a real opportunity to win the starting job at right guard.
He's given an opportunity, but he's earning a second look. That's the one thing about it is you say, okay, man, we drafted you in this position. We're going to insert you in the lineup. How do you hold up because of it? You get inserted in the lineup after a kind of a turbulent couple of years, and now when they put him in at right guard, he's flashing, he's showing up. He's flourishing along with Larry Borum and Sam Mustipher, the center. I like this. I like what I've seen out of Tevin so far. And one thing about Tevin, the better he gets to play right guard, the more reliable of a backup right tackle he could become. So you got to think the big picture here when you're thinking about a 53 game day active roster. So, hey, man, give Tevin all the opportunity that you can afford.
Tom, I'm 5'7.5" on a good day. My ceiling is going to be pretty low. But Dominique Robinson out of Miami, Ohio, going back to the land of Ohio there to take on the Browns, he is one of my players to watch. I'm going to throw a couple guys at you here. The way he's rushing the passer, the way he comes and bends, and he's working that toolbox so well, working his hands. This is a guy that's going to be a rotational figure to start his career. Maybe some special teams as well, but the athleticism is really popping.
As much as I am impressed with his athleticism when he's displayed, when he's rushing the passer, I'm excited to see the way he's learned how to adapt to playing the run. Because you know you can't be a one-dimensional defensive end in this league. And that goes all the way back to my teammate Richard Dent, where Buddy Ryan told him, you're not going to play until you learn how to play the run.
And they're going to keep running at you.
And he was able to do it to become a Hall of Famer. Dominique Robinson, you came in here as an undeveloped talent. You got the athleticism. Now you're starting to develop your talent.
Another player I want to see a lot more of because he really wet my beak, as they like to say, on that punt return of 48 yards. Velus Jones Jr., the rookie, he definitely has some juice. The speed's there.
Yeah, opened up with a nice long kickoff return. That's one of the things that he's been promoted since he came up in the draft is his speed. He put it on display. But because he had a little bit of an injury issue throughout training camp, he needs to stack those practices together. He needs to have them, and then you suddenly get a quality evaluation of him. How does he understand every one of his responsibilities according to every single down and distance in every single play?
Yeah, 2 targets in the passing game is shorty. You got a couple guys to watch?
Hey, how can you not look at Mr. Lake Zurich, Jack Sanborn? Because this guy has come up, tackles all over the field. Special teams play, understands how to play the linebacker position within this defense. So I like to see what Jack Sanborn has been able to do throughout this preseason. He wears number 57, and I always have a special place in my heart for that. And then I like the look at the running back position because we talk about Dave Montgomery, then every one of these backs belong. But Tuggle, he's an interesting guy. What is he, 5'8", 208 pounds? He's got a really thick frame. He bounces off tacklers. Now, can you pick up a blitz? Can you catch the ball out of the backfield? Do you know where to be on screen passes? So Sanborn and Tuggle, I'm going to pay attention to you in week 3.
Another Ohio guy, Ohio University for Devontae Tuggle, an outstanding guy. We will have the game for you on the radio starting at 5 o'clock with pregame coverage, 6 o'clock kickoff on WBBM. That's going to wrap us up. Bears and Browns to wrap up the preseason, getting you ready for September 11th. With Tom Thayer, I'm Jeff Joniak. Thanks for watching, everybody.